Hey people. First of all, if you're watching this, I miss you. There's almost too many of you guys to name, but I'm sorry that you've been stuck at home, and I'm grateful that you're watching this video. So this is to explain the decimals of the week. And I'm actually going to give you a perk because if you're watching this, I'm going to do like half of it for you because I'm going to go ahead and use the one that we're doing this week. So I'm going to go ahead and go down to Monday. So basically, I'm going to need you to fill this out and submit it to me by like Friday or Saturday. And I'm going to give you some points for doing it. And we're going to do the same thing next week and the week after. So we're going to do this 3 times between Thanksgiving and the winter break. So basically, I've got 2 decimals and we're going to do different things with them. So first of all, basically, I'm going to do 4 and 87 hundredths here. So basically, you're going to put 4 and 8 and a 7. So basically, you're going to put them in the ones place, the tenths place, and the hundreds place, which is not a big deal. For word form, I'm just going to type it out exactly how I would say it. And I never really taught this to you guys, but the way you say these are 4, obviously. The decimal isn't said point, so it's not 4.87. The decimal, you say and. So it's 4 and 87. So after the decimal, you say it however it looks. So it looks like an 87, so I'm going to say 87. So it's 4 and 87 hundredths because the number's last name, when it's a decimal, its last name is where it ends. And since this is the tenths place and this is the hundredths place, and that's the last digit is the 7 in the hundredths place, this number's last name is hundredths. So it's 4 and 87 hundredths. Okay, for expanded form, you guys have done this for a long time, since like 2nd grade, but you have not done decimals. So we're just going to separate all the digits out, all the non-zero digits, which are all 3 in this case. We're going to do 4 plus, and then the 8 is 8 tenths, and then the 7 is 7 tenths, or 7 hundredths, sorry. So we have 4 plus 8 tenths plus 7 hundredths. Okay, this one, we're going to use both numbers, and we're going to add them together and subtract them. Now, the estimation part is, all I'm saying there is, think about these like money and just round them to the nearest dollar. So you're going to round to where it's easy to do in your head. So I think 4 and 87 hundredths looks like 5, right? And 2 and 31 hundredths is really close to 2. So in my head, I can add those together, and I see that the answer, when I add those actual decimal numbers, should be close to 7. So if I get some kind of funky number like 752, I know I did something wrong. Okay, so I'm not going to do this because I would want to add, well, yeah, I will. Let's do 4 and 87 hundredths, and then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to add, I'm going to do plus 2 and 31 hundredths. Now I want to try to line these up as best as I can. And so I'm always going to start over here at the smallest number. I've got 8. Okay, 8 plus 3 is going to be 11. So I'm going to put my ones place here, and I would regroup and put that 1 up there. And so that would end up being 1 plus 4 plus 2, which is going to be 7. And I can't forget my decimal. I know that looks a little funky when you're trying to type it in. But if I forgot my decimal, I would have gotten 718. And I know because of my estimation that my number should be close to 7. So I would remember to go back and drop down my decimal. Because remember, when we add or subtract decimals, all you have to do is line up the place values and line up the decimals. Be very neat and tidy with it. And then you just add or subtract going from your smallest number to your biggest number. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so next. Oh yeah, no calculators. I'm going to try to fix this a little bit. Yikes. Okay, on the comparing them, I'm not going to go through and do this for you on this one, but basically I want to know which one's bigger. Is it the 4 and 8700ths, or is it the 7 or the 2 and 3100ths? Now, if you want to do this very particularly to where you know you're always right, you're going to stack the numbers on top of each other, making sure to line up the place values. And I'm going to go from left to right. Which one's bigger, 4 or 2? 4, so clearly that number is bigger. Okay, when I round this, I'm going to look and see if I'm going to round it to the nearest tenths place. Okay, the 8 is in the tenths place. So I need to know, is that going to stay an 8 or do I need to round it up to a 9? And the 7, 87 cents is closer to 90 cents than it is 80. So I'm going to round it to 4 and 9 tenths, or 90. Okay, so if I round this to the nearest ones place, let's think about it like dollar bills. Is $4.87 closer to $4 or $5? And it is closer to $5. Okay. On Thursday, we are going to multiply, basically do our place value powers of 10 stuff. So remember, if I'm multiplying something, I'm shifting it by 10 or 100 or 1,000. I'm going to shift it that many times greater. Shift the place value. So if I multiply 4 and 8700ths by 10, I'm going to jump over the decimal, and I'm going to shift it up one place value. You see how I shifted everything over one time? If I multiplied it by 100, I'm going to shift it over 2 times because 100 is just 10 times 10. It's also got 2 zeros. So I'm going to shift it over 2 times. If I multiply by 1,000, I've got to shift it over 3 times. I'm going to have to add that placeholder 0 because I've got to shift it over one more digit, one more place value. Okay, when I'm dividing by that same number, I'm just going to shift it smaller by a place value. So my answer is going to be 487 thousandths. You see how I shifted it backwards? And I'm going to have to do the same placeholder business as I did when I was multiplying. Okay, so if you look at what number we started with, if I'm going to shift it over 3 times, which is what I do when I divide by 100, I make it smaller, 3 place value jumps. That 4 starts in the ones place. Well, if I shift it over 3 times, it ends in the thousandths place. And I've got to hold those places with zeros. I know this can be confusing, so please come back with questions if you need to. Okay, now in the last one, write and solve 3 word problems. So, what are the obvious ones on this? Money. Anything about buying something and how much change do you get? Adding something together. You're going to the store and you want to buy something and something. How much is the total going to be? Okay, so if you have any questions for me, you're welcome to email them, send me a Google Classroom message, or we can try to set up a Google Meet. Hopefully, I will see most of you guys back soon because I miss your faces. Do your best. We'll work it out when you get back. Miss ya. Love ya. See you later. Bye. Maybe. Okay, bye for real.